Hey, it's Chris. We've got stuff. We got a cool new thing. It's an eSun e-box. Let's open this thing up. I mean, I already opened one up, but let's open one live. Let's see what's inside. Let's move this bad boy. I already got one set up. It's not doing anything, but it's set up. So you get this fun box with lots of pictures in it. It's got the little Apple carry handles. Whenever you get one of those iMacs, you know, you gotta have a big carry handle. Instruction booklet. All right, we can get rid of the box here. Try not to make too much noise because this microphone picks up everything, every little detail down here. You can hear my furnace right now. So I excuse my furnace. So here it is. I mean, it's nothing fancy. Comes with a bunch of packing foam, which I guess is necessary because these things are made out of plastic. Don't want these things snapping before you get it. And then the inside holds all the good little bits. So this little tray opens up. Got this piece of packing foam that has a US power adapter. Thankfully. Definitely don't want to have a non-US because I live in the US. All right, move the packing foam. We have a very large filament tube, Bowden tube here. This looks like it's for 3mm or maybe even bigger. I mean, that is some beefy stuff. And then we get this little chintzy thing. We get this poorly 3D printed adapter that holds the tube. As you can see, it doesn't even fit the tube properly. Ugh. And then this goes as such. And then you close the door on it, and it doesn't really close all the way because this thing is chintzy. As you can see, this is very thin plastic. Push those things in as I push down. Yeah, I'm not a fan. eSun, what were you thinking? This is not good. Okay. There, now we got it. But we have this big air gap. I mean, there's no seal. This is supposed to keep stuff out of your things. Moisture. You know, for your printing, some nylon, PVA, BVOH. I got polycarbonate in there. So this thing's supposed to do that, but when you don't have any seals and all this open air gets inside, you're just, you know, adding more humidity into the e-box. But let's open this thing up. Let's take a look inside because this is how this thing works. So on the inside, there is a very crooked tray. You can actually just wiggle this thing straight. So if you want the filament to come out straight, you need to balance that. There's a 40mm fan back here. And all that does is, this is even funnier, you put desiccant back here. So let's look at this instruction booklet. Our eSun user's guide. Let's read along. And we don't have to read very far, but this step right here. Step number 3. Open the cover, place desiccant in the empty slot. It doesn't come with desiccant, so you just have to use what's in your roll. It could be an old roll. So you're just throwing a random desiccant back here. Thankfully, I have a drawer full of them. I have a print dry. It came with a whole bunch of desiccant, and I have them stored away in a Mylar bag that's all zipped up with more desiccant in it. So yeah, you shove, you know, pack of desiccant back here to absorb the moisture that's inside here. And there's a little heating element in there. Looks like a PCB heater, just like you would have inside or on your heat bed. But yeah, that's basically it. I mean, it's nothing fancy. I mean, for $60, $70, it is a plastic box with a 40mm fan, a scale that constantly weighs your roll in grams, pounds, or something else. They had other, we can read along. Gram, pound, wok, temp, time. And the temp just tells you the temperature of your filament. Well, temperature is going on. And then you can also adjust a bake method, temperature setting mode. And then you've got a you got a temp chart here, what temperature you want. So PLA, you want to leave it at 50C, ABS 65, PETG 60, nylon 80, and for how many hours you want to leave it in there. So there's polycarbonate. It says 80C for 7 hours, PVA 70C for at least 5 hours. So let's do that. I got one plugged in. Mind you, it's not airtight. And I'll come back with a follow-up future video. So we'll have a follow-up future video. But let's go ahead and do that. So let's press these buttons. So it's weighing my filament. So mode, temp. And this could go any slower. I don't even remember what it said. Is it 60C or 70C? 60 or 70C. It's one of the two. We'll set it to 70. Dun, 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 dun. Yep, going so fast. Okay, it is set to 70C. And it's raising the temperature, as you can see, all by itself. I guess it's working. I guess it's probably just reading off the bed. There must be a thermistor underneath that little bed. So we'll check the temp. Could be wrong. I could have memorized that poorly. 80C. 80C. There we go. So yeah, we're going to let that sit and see what's going on. I mean, there's desiccant back there. Put 3 packs. Oh, the AC unit turned off. So much quieter. But yeah, I mean, this is literally the thing that I bought for 60, 70 bucks is you get a plastic box that's not sealed, that holds desiccant, where the fan blows the air into the desiccant to dry the air. There's a tiny piece of PCB heater in there, and it heats the chamber, and supposedly it's going to make our filament not be bad. So I'm just gonna let this run, and we will see how this works. But so far, I'm not really thrilled. I don't see how this is any different than just grabbing a spanner head, one of the printable spanner head boxes, throwing in a bunch of desiccant in there, and not having a fan and a heater in there, because it'll still keep it dry. We'll see. It's almost a temp there, 74C. So yeah, we'll come back later. This is just a quick preview, just to say, hey, there's some things that I don't like about this. I do like the form factor. It looks like it should fit all of my rolls. I think the only thing that might be tricky is I do have some atomic filament, which has the wider rolls. So I could grab that. Where's the nearest roll of atomic next to me? It's all the way over there. Well, I'm all plugged in. I have headphones on. I can actually monitor my voice now. So yeah, I'm going to come back and we'll see how this works. But I just want to give you guys a heads up that this is not the most amazing thing ever. I mean, there's an air gap here. I mean, oops, sorry, it's focusing on my arm. There's an air gap here, which is lovely. Doesn't take any pressure to let any air in there. Of course, there is an air gap here, but I don't have it hooked up to anything. So, other than that, I mean, it's a thing. I got 2 of them. Hopefully they work. Picked one up because hopefully when I get an MMU2 or a Pallet 2, whichever one I decide to go for, I can throw the PVA in there, keep it dry the entire time. But not really. Don't really think this is going to keep it as dry as you'd want something to be. At least the spanner heads one has a seal, and that'll keep some humidity out. I know OC. Hey OC, you printed a bunch of those, and you had a humidity gauge inside there, so you can track it, or on the outside. This doesn't even have that. This doesn't have a humidity gauge, so you might actually have to pick up another thing. And I mean, it's not hard to do. You could you could print something and drop something in there and drill a hole and put a little humidity gauge in there. So yeah, you've got options, but let's see how this works. I mean, I'm going to run it. I have some fan shrouds I can print. If anyone has recommendations for fan shrouds, I'll just throw them on the printer. I got 2 of them free at the moment after redoing the basement here. So yeah, stay tuned for a follow-up to the E-Box from eSun. But for now, I wouldn't order it unless you really want something that weighs something all the time and has a built-in heater coil in it. Other than that, it's a box that holds your filament kind of coolly. So have a good one and stay tuned for the follow-up.